Okay, this is video number 2. If this video got forwarded to you, or it's me that is forwarding this video to you, I apologize that this is like a universal video. I just never have time to talk to people on the phone, and I feel really bad because I feel like I'm racing to talk. And so I'm going to try to give you as much information about cleansing as possible in the drive, because it's easier for me than, for some reason at home, I just see too many things going on while I'm on the phone with a person who needs to talk to me. And that's part of the reason why I made these videos. Sorry, you see the sun in my face. Is because I don't have time to even talk to one person, let alone a whole bunch of people. And so cleansing, I know I talked about in my first video the importance of it, and it has been the biggest reason that my health is completely reversed. And I think I touched on it or even went more into it, I can't remember, about just all of the things that I had, from chronic fevers once a week when I was little, to chronic sinus infections that went into a 1.5 year long cough. They determined I was allergic to cats and the dust mite, and this is back then when they didn't get gluten in the dairy, but I definitely was allergic to dairy and probably gluten too. But I just had a reaction to everything. I had asthma, I had allergies to everything. Like I said, I got chronic fevers at least once a week, and then I had a lot of pain. So basically, and when I got into isagenix and got on their product, and I had already gone through this big, huge research of herbs and things like that, I just was looking at the mindset, honestly, of that whole, you have to find a medicine or a natural medicine, and to see it was food, and then studying the food. So I want you guys to understand, this has been a 17-year process of studying food. And then before then, it was a how many year process of understanding herbs and essential oils and homeopathic and enzyme therapy and things like that. And I didn't think it could be as simple as just food, but it truly is. So if we understand how many things are heavily laden with so many different chemicals, and then we want to believe that none of these are affecting us when we have children who are now having adult diseases at a very young age, and medication that was honestly meant to prolong life, not really to cure it, because there was always a side effect. There was always something you were giving up by taking the medication. It caused, I mean, if you don't believe that, just listen to the commercials about medication. It may cause blah, 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 and you could bleed to death and die on the side of the road kind of effect. But if you want to get rid of this itch, then, take all of these things that you might lose a left arm. I mean, that's really how ridiculous they've become. But our doctors, who are wonderful people, who are great surgeons and things like that, and are really looking, they went to school to study medicine, where you have other people who have gone to school to study food and really understanding how food reacts. And so we have a lot of people now, I mean, literally so many people on elimination diets. And that is just to keep our bodies, tolerating whatever we're doing. A lot of time, elimination diets, you'll find people shedding a lot of weight because they're getting rid of, sugars, and which they will find in taking a lot of, carbs and stuff like that they'll end up shedding a lot of weight. But ultimately, sometimes they can live that lifestyle forever. And but the key is really, we want to get our bodies that we're not having to live an elimination diet, that we were wanting to get to the point where we really just love cooking. But the reality of it is a very hard life to live in nowadays. And the reason why is because we are so busy. I mean, I don't even eat like I want to eat. If I had a personal chef, I would eat perfectly, but I don't. And having 10 kids and homeschooling and all the things above, I've been lucky to have isagenix to basically cheat over how many years. So the one thing I don't like about isagenix product is that it's called cleanser. I have known cleansing for years, and to me, they were pooping cleanses. And so cleansing and losing weight was like, well, of course you lost weight. You lost a ton of water weight, and you pooped out everything. And when I first got on this, you don't even go that number until like you start digesting food properly. It was cleaning my blood, and it was cleaning the areas that line my blood and everywhere my blood goes through. because it's really, it's allowing your body, which I wish they would just, it's more of allowing your body to flush, but allowing your body to feed it what it needs. And so when it's getting the proper nutrients, which was the idea of the owner, being diabetic, he was looking for that perfect food that your body would let go of stuff instead of doing, the elimination diet route. And then, but so many books that I've read, especially this one book that I really want to push, it's called The Thyroid Cancer Miracle. It's the most recent book that I read that literally compiles, I swear, 36 different books that were humongous into one book that is not written by a doctor. It's written by a journalist who had thyroid cancer, who went and studied, and it literally, each chapter is a summary of probably a 500-page book I read. And he sources everything, and it really is a full-on how to eat, how to live, and so on and so forth. So, but he describes everywhere that we're getting hit, and ultimately why people end up with cancer. And he goes through different protocols of exactly how to cure things. But if you can cure cancer, then you can basically cure anything, all the way down to a cold or a virus. So that is so important. So back to the isagenix cleanse. It was the only one out there that I found that was not harming. I could give it to my child. I could give it to my baby. It was feeding my body. I've had so many friends. In 16 years, I've watched my friend with lupus who gained 70 pounds with each baby. She asked me to do what I did, and ended up gaining 25 pounds with twins, and had no symptoms of any of her lupus while she was using it. I've had friends who couldn't get pregnant, and they started taking cleanser and shake, which the cleanser is, again, not just flushing the body, but when you take it on a daily basis, it's opening up those cells to receive their nutrients, and they started getting the proper nutrients. And think, when your body is getting what it needs to get, it starts working correctly. But that's the idea of why we want to cleanse at first. We want to do heavier cleanses to be able to flush the stuff out of us, to get our body working at a higher rate, to get those organs working better, to get our bodies to be able to really fuel better. And it's not just to speed up our metabolism, because we're not trying to unnaturally speed it up. We're trying to fix why we have these problems, which a lot of people are more concerned about weight. But like with me, with my fibromyalgia, I mean, it's non-stop stories from whatever their pain was, because this is an anti-inflammatory, from what could be from depression to allergies. I don't have any allergies. I can't eat like a pig either. I mean, I do eat a ton of calories. I eat probably about 3,500 calories a day when I'm eating normally. But the difference is I do pick different things, and the main reason why, and my food is not perfect, but I understand how food works. And so again, I don't want to go on and this is not a gluten-free, dairy-free diet. I don't go on a diet, but the whole point is when you are healthier, you feel the food, you learn more about food, you understand. So that is my idea of also helping people with cleansing. So your option with cleansing is a couple things. We ultimately want to get to the point where we are doing a 9-day cleanse, and that is not 9 days where you're cleansing. It is actually more like, I would like to call it a healing cleanse. So it's 2 days of cleansing, which is 1 bottle of the Cleanse for Life. It's 5 days of shakes for breakfast and dinner, and then you do a healthy lunch. And a healthy lunch is when you're doing a healing diet, you really want to, hey, Kender, you know what you're doing. I need you to stop. Okay? Thank you, sweetheart. So a healing diet, we really want to not dump all of this heaviness on our body. We really want to allow our bodies to get rid of the toxins. Imagine if you were sick and you just had the flu for 2 days. You would want to go to a vegetable broth. You want to, start when you start eating foods, you want to go to brown rice, light steamed vegetables, and then add in maybe lean meats and stuff like that. So that's the same process. You want to stay from all, white flours, white sugars, cornstarch, processed foods during that time. Really try to get the freshest ingredients. And even during a cleanse, I would have people get off fruit and just stay to the vegetables until they finish. And then the last 2 days go back into another cleansing day, which takes up another bottle. So a 9-day cleanse, you really are taking 2 bottles of cleanser and 1 shake. And the reason why it's 1 canister of shake is a canister takes 14 meals. And the cleanser is 32 and the shakes are 40, unless you get, I think I think the only one is more, might be the dairy-free, which I think is like 44 or something like that. But I could be wrong. It could be less than that. But I think that's the correct amount. And I think it's because it's separated in packets. And every one of them are excellent. And like I said, you can pick whatever you want. A lot of people, I would suggest to do that as fast as possible. I also love to get the isagenix. The isagenix is a powdered green vegetables, which has, if you go up on the website and look at what's in the isagenix, there are so many ingredients, it's ridiculous. And I've never tried a powdered green that actually tasted good. In fact, my kids have been so lucky to have this for how many years, that one time I've gone and bought from several other companies, including Sprouts, and they were like, what is in it? It was nasty. In fact, my husband would not try it for years because he assumed it tastes like grass, until he accidentally tried somebody else's and then was just shocked in how good it tasted. And then now everyone fights over. Even my son in the Dominican Republic is like, but you didn't send me isagenix. So that was also something that I would suggest. One canister of that is like a month's supply. And so you only need one of those. And so that is what you want to be able to do 9-day cleanses as much as you possibly can. Some people can't in the beginning. They're like, this is too hard. Other people, it's really, really easy. It all depends on what's coming out of you. The key is we got to get the stuff out. Most of the time, the people have the hardest time are the ones that drink lots of caffeine. They have too much sugar, processed stuff, so they're going to feel what they're coming out. And there's tricks to this. A mini trampoline is one of the very best things. And you can always send me a message and I'll tell you the very best one to get. And it's called the Kneedax Soft Bounce. But and I've talked about it before, the trampoline is the very best exercise out there. But doing the trampoline will help you filter through it. Doing it on a busy day where you're not stuck at home, feeding the kids. Doing it, on a time that maybe you could take a nap, or you can go for a walk, or you can exercise. The more busy you are, the easier it are. So the 9-day is the hardest cleanse. If you can't do a 9-day, you do a 1-day. And a 1-day, just simply you take the cleanser all day. So one bottle of cleanser, which is called Cleanse for Life, is basically, and they have options. There's a powdered version where you add to water. There's the already, made, it's already, and it's an aloe vera base. It's already in a bottle, and that's mainly what I get, unless someone is somewhere where you have to keep that cold once you open it. And you take that, I would take it 4 times a day, 4 ounces. Or I would take it if someone, gets hungry more often. Like with my daughter, I literally would take half the bottle, because it's a 32-ounce bottle. I would put it in a water bottle that was 16 ounces, meaning empty the water out. And I would put half of it in one whole water bottle, and I just tell her to sip on it all day. And then drink lots of water. And that's what you're having all day. You're not starving your body. You have all the liquid minerals and enzymes that your body needs on a daily basis. Think of a person in a coma. They're not eating calories. They're getting liquid food. We're getting what our body needs at the time. And it allows us to flush and our body to be fed what it needs. So the body will go, oh, I can let go of stuff. When you starve the body, it doesn't let go. It lets go of water. It lets go of muscle. Not that you can't lose some water weight. Some people don't drink enough water. And when you start drinking enough water, your body will let go of water weight too. But I want to say about 90% will be about fat, and about maybe 10% will be about water. Unless you retain a ton of water, then it might be 85% and then 10. You will go to 1-day cleanses, and then you'll go back to taking the shake for breakfast every day. My biggest thing that I tell people to do is, when you get started, my suggestion would be, and like I said, you can do a 1-day, you can do a 2-day, or you can go into a 9-day, which is just basically 2 days, and a week later doing another 2 days. Some people can't even do that, and they say, oh my gosh, I know I need to heavily cleanse, and they go and they do a, oh my gosh, sorry, as I'm driving, a guy decides to go backwards. That's good. Luckily I can do 2 things at once, and that's why I'm not looking at my phone. So poor you guys are looking at my nose probably. So some people will have to start, recently they've been starting at night and doing, just taking 4 ounces before they go to bed at night. My suggestion to get the best results is having a shake for dinner. Even if you want, take a shake for breakfast, a good healthy lunch, a shake for dinner. Take your cleanser 4 ounces before you go to bed at night. I would even do some trampoline before you go to bed. And what's going to happen is you should, after a while, be able to then do a 1-day. But you'll still see results there. Your body is still cleansing. Now, the goal is to get to where we want to be, where we're like, I need to maintain. The key is, honestly, the most success you're going to have is if you take cleanser every day. I've had so many people who just take cleanser when they want to cleanse. And the problem is you really are taking and intaking in toxins every day of our life. I have gotten to the point where I barely cleanse, which is probably not good, but I really am at a point where I know when I need to do it 1 day or 2 day, and I just take cleanser every day, and I don't build back on, weight and things like that. And if I need to, I do a 1 day cleanse. And like, let's say I gained 5 pounds from Thanksgiving. I literally can do a 1 day cleanse and drop off the 5 pounds. I mean, think how hard everybody else has to go through a month of eating a completely elimination diet and all these other things. And so the way I do it and the way you maintain, and this is how a lot of people start. How they start is they start as in maintenance, which means you will take 2 to 4 ounces in the morning, get on your trampoline or get on working out. Trampoline is the very best. You will burn up to 1,400 calories an hour. It throws oxygen through all of your cells. And again, that's up to, because if you take the best trampoline, you're going to get 1,400. It's all positive on your body and not negative, and it's going to help you flush faster, help you get better results, and it's wonderful. It actually builds your bones. There's so many other things. Research it. I don't have time to go through all of it. And it's a humongous cancer fighter. It triples your white blood cells, and just so many different things. And so I would do that, and then I would take a shake for breakfast. And I would suggest people to do this for a week or 2 until they start their cleanse, whether it's a 1 day cleanse, a 2 day cleanse, or a 9 day cleanse. The last thing that we've solved and we've figured out is some people want to do a 9 day, and they do day 1 and they're dying because that's the day they have sugars in them. And then they go to get the sugars out. And day 2 is they feel fine. Or maybe they don't feel fine in the morning. They're like, I can't do this. I can't do another day. And I tell them, what you want to do is you want to talk yourself into I'm only going to do 1 day, and I don't have to do 2 days. But if I can't, I'll just stop. And this is called a hop day. And we figured this out, and it really works well. So you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do a 2 day. This is, and you talk yourself in, but if I can't, I'm just going to do a 1 day. But you can do a hop day. And a hop day is where you do a cleansing day, and then the next day you do all shakes. Just shake, shake, shake. So what's the shakes doing is you're rebuilding all of your stuff back into your body. And it gives you all this energy. And then what happens is we find that people who normally wanted to do a 2 day, but they just were dying because all the stuff that was coming at them when they were feeling sick. Of course, my husband has never felt sick, and most men have never felt sick doing it. So it always seems to be the women.